Actually, if I may, I would like not to speak now about the Bologna process because I already did that yesterday, but I would like to take up and underline 2 points made by Professor Dominese in his introductory speech, which struck me very much, and I think they are worthwhile to be treated a little more. He said that focus on education, I'm an educationist, of course, so that's my point of view. Focus on education is important, and attention to the next generation is important. And of course, these are two themes that are very important in themselves in the 2020 prospect, but they are especially meaningful, I think, in this framework of the European-Asian Partnership, a real and not mythological partnership, as it's said in the title of this roundtable. Of course, the 2 points are very strictly linked because it's okay. No. Even if we know that in the present times, the education is an affair of it's a lifelong affair, we should not forget that education, in one of the basic features, sociologically, is to be a process addressed to young generations to allow them to acquire the tools they need to live in society. In a way, it's a bridge from the past to the future education. And as such, this kind of process has to allow for some continuity and leave room for a lot of innovation, of course. And the balance between these two aspects is one of the trickiest points because, of course, it changes a lot following the context, the historical moments, and a lot of the historical circumstances, but it has a very strong impact on the possibilities of development, the balance between some continuity and room for innovation in education. Now, when today, let's say, today not in the sense of this day, but in the present times, we speak about education, very often education is referred to as mainly as acquiring knowledge and skills, and perhaps learning to learn, not only knowledge and skills, but the capability, of course, to be able to learn just in order to face change and innovation. Which, of course, is extremely important. But we also have to remember that it has a lot to do with also with developing values, especially social values. This is, well, what very often they are called citizenship values, but at the moment I would prefer to call them living together values because the citizenship is a very controversial issue. It comes with questions of the nation state and which kind of citizenship is the right concept for the world of today. So I would like to call them living together values. In Italian, it's easier because in Italian we have actually two terms. We use two terms. One term is especially for, let's say, learning content, istruzione, and another one is for educazione. But in English, education means the two, all the aspects of the process, and specifically in this case. So, why am I raising this point? Why I was so struck by Professor Dominese's mention of that? Because I think that not only education is crucial, is a crucial issue for the 2020, and of course, for all the reasons I just said, but also because this kind of learning, of education for learning to communicate and living together is crucial for partnership. In a way, I see it as a sort of infrastructure. It is an infrastructure for partnership and also for more, let's say, economical or practical or institutional kind of relationship. And specifically, I'm going very quickly. Specifically, in the partnership, this is in a European approach, of course, is a European perspective, but in the partnership between Europe and Asia, and specifically between some European countries and China, the field of social education, let's say, there is a lot of a big possibility of mutual learning, because there are different different cultural approaches to the, let's say, the model, the social responsiveness of institutions. This is, in a way, is more a research agenda that I'm doing that here than conclusions, because I know of important comparative studies concerning this specific aspect, meaning the different ways in which educational institutions and universities specifically are socially responsive in, let's say, the European traditional culture and the Asian and specifically the Chinese one. I have in mind some important essays on this matter, but I think that focusing on this theme could be necessary in perspective of the future, for the reasons I just said, and specifically important because of the possibility of having the changes in this, let's say, cultural domain, in this the domain, I mean, of social responsiveness and social values in education. And so I just would like, and just to, sorry? Yeah, 1 minute, just to put back a little the Bologna process and in this perspective, meaning that if the Bologna process becomes a sort of framework for cooperation and exchange, not only inside Europe, but also outside Europe, it could be a framework for this kind of development. Because, of course, as I said, partnership in this sense could be, let's say, considered in one way as something that needs values of living together in order as an infrastructure, as I said before. But on the other hand, partnership is also a way to learn that, especially, of course, in the educational field, the university for young generation. So I think that this focus that Professor Dominese underlined at the beginning of his introduction is very worthwhile to being kept.